Hi, this is Kirk, the bariatric carnivore. Cross your heart and hope to die, stick a needle in your eye. That was the most powerful thing that you could do to tell a friend of yours back when you were a kid that you were going to keep your word. There's something about sticking a needle in your eye that really gets your attention. Well, it got mine. About 10 years ago, I was at the eye doc. I had some flashing weird lights that were happening in my field of vision. It really bothered me, so I went to go see my eye doc, and she said, she just kept taking more notes, sighing, looking back in the back of my eye, and she said, look, the back of your eye is deteriorating pretty rapidly. I'm going to need to start seeing you about every few months, because in a little while you're going to have full-scale age-related macular degeneration, and we're going to have to start giving you injections in your eyeballs in order to stop that from happening. Now, I don't know what it was about that health threat that really got my attention more than anything else. I mean, I'm 50 years old, I'm overweight. My dad had died of a heart attack at 52. I just assumed that's what was going to happen to me. I was just going to be dead at 52 because that was just a genetic gun that that was the luck of the lottery. And I thought that was going to be happening to me. Well, but I didn't want to go out with a heart attack blind. And I didn't want to be getting a needle stuck in my eyes either. So I just remember looking at her going, well, what can I do about it? And she said, well, you got to lose the fat. You got to get rid of this weight. That was the height of her medical advice. And frankly, at that moment, I was willing to take it. So, I started Googling how to lose weight, went to Weight Watchers, that wasn't working. That's what got me to bariatric surgery. And I lost the weight and went back a few months later, much skinnier, and she's all excited about it. But it still hasn't healed the back of the eye. It's gotten better, it's not getting worse, but it wasn't healing. And what I know now, but I didn't know then, is that really one of the biggest inflammatory causes of that are two things. One, the amount of inflammation that is caused by type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome. All those markers that are damaging your arteries are also damaging the delicate vessels in the back of your eye. And that's creating problems for most people. See, 1 out of 11 people under the age of 60 are going to have age-related macular degeneration. And if you live to be 75, it'll be 1 in 3 of you. So, and since when you consider the fact that only about 12% of this country is metabolically healthy, you can see that we got this real strong correlation between good metabolic health and eye health. But, there's one other culprit, and that's vegetable oils, or what I call industrial seed oils. Because you can look around the world and you can look at populations that live to be a very long time, but they don't have vegetable seed oil in their diet, and they don't eat a lot of processed foods. They hardly have any macular degeneration. We've known and we've been able to study the back of the eye now for over 120 years. And there was hardly anybody had age-related macular degeneration back at the beginning of the 20th century. But recently, it has grown like an epidemic, and it's grown everywhere where there's processed food and industrial seed oils. We may not be able to prove the absolute link. Nobody's done an in-depth study to show the absolute links between it. But there's been enough study, and I'll link to some of the books below, that show that there's definitely a link. It's like, smoking and lung cancer. Nobody's been able to prove absolutely what the mechanism is that from cigarette smoking that causes lung cancer. But you can see that, people that smoke have a 12 times the greater risk of having lung cancer. That's a good signal. And we see the same thing with macular degeneration and vegetable oils. So if you don't want to have macular degeneration, just cut out the vegetable seed oils. Which means, unfortunately, you have to get rid of the processed food, too. But that's also a good thing. Because when you get rid of the processed food, you automatically get rid of wheat, grains, sugar, all the bad stuff. And you're going to decrease the amount of inflammation. You're going to improve your metabolic health significantly just by getting rid of the vegetable seed oils, by getting rid of the processed food. And Side benefit, you get to keep your eyesight, because macular degeneration is a horrible disease. It destroys the rods and cones in the back of your eyes, and it takes away the center part of your vision over time. And while you may have peripheral vision, you will not be able to see straight ahead, which means you won't be able to read. You're going to lose your independence because you're not going to be able to drive, and you're not going to be able to see your grandkids smile either. All that stuff is going to be lost to you forever, because there's no reversal. Once those rods and cones have been destroyed, that's it. The plus side is it's preventable. I mean, I am living proof of that. I had it. I mean, I had all the beginning signs of it, but because I changed my diet, because I changed and I lost the weight, I got rid of the macular degeneration, and I don't have to get needles in my eyes, and I'm very happy about that, trust me. And surprisingly, I lived a lot longer than my dad. I'm now 60 and healthier than I've ever been in my life. So there's a lot of side benefits that come from this too. Not just keeping your eyesight, but keeping the eyesight was what got me interested in this whole thing. And you just don't want macular degeneration, and you don't have to have it. You can really, this looks to be preventable through diet and lifestyle, and it's worth doing. But think about what my doctor told me. Lose weight. And I've asked her about this afterwards. And I said, why didn't you tell me about the vegetable seed oils? Why didn't you tell me about metabolic syndrome? And she just shrugged her shoulders and said, well, nobody, you're the only person that's ever actually lost the weight. Nobody ever does it. Patients don't comply. And that was kind of her attitude. And it reinforces this idea that I keep bringing up time and time again. We have a psychopathic system. We have doctors that have limited amounts of time, and we think they're looking after our health, but they're really not. Really think about, when was the last time you've gotten real in-depth health advice from your doctor? I mean, they tell you eat less, move more, but they don't really tell you how to lose weight. Because frankly, most of them don't know how. In this fight for our health, man, we're all alone in this together, and we're not going to get it from our doctors. They're not equipped. Frankly, none of them have taken any classes on diet. Hardly any of them have taken any classes on exercise. Very few of them do it themselves. Look at your doc. They're probably more unhealthy than you are. So why should you take health advice from them? That's frankly part of the sick psychopathic system that we have. We're only as good as the advice that we get, and frankly, you ain't gonna get it from your doc. Look, in this fight for your health, you are all alone in this. I mean, you're it. You're the one who's got to figure it out. Nobody's gonna do it for you. Nobody's gonna put food in your mouth and tell you that this is healthy stuff. You know, you'll get lots of bad advice from the media. You'll get lots of bad advice from the government. You'll get lots of bad advice from big food and big pharma. And you probably won't get any advice from your doc in the healthcare system. So in this fight, you are all alone. But we can all be alone in this together, and that's what this community is all about, is to help each other get stronger and to get healthier. Not everybody's going to take the advice, but some will. And the more people that we get to healthier, the better off America's going to be, and that's why I keep doing this. So if you like this message, if you want to see more like this, if you want more people to see it, please hit the like and subscribe button. That is the only way to grow a YouTube channel, and I appreciate your support of everybody that makes comments below. And if you or a loved one have had macular degeneration, please share those stories in the comment field down below. Let other people know that this is something they don't want. And if they've got loved ones that may be affected by it, you know, once you've got it, once your vision's destroyed, that's it. But just because when you're starting off on it and they let you know that it's there, it's reversible through diet and lifestyle and getting rid of the vegetable seed oils. You know, there's some other things you maybe want to try too. There's some research that says maybe putting in a cup of spinach in your diet every day might help. Eating fatty cold water fish like sardines, salmon, stuff like that 3 times a week may help. But the big thing, get rid of the vegetable seed oils, processed food, lower the inflammation, go low carb. That does more than anything else. Hey, I try to put out a new message every single workday. I will talk to you soon.